Oh my God, I've been came without unlocking my mic. Oh my God. So sorry, guys. I'm extremely sorry. So basically, what I'm saying here is you have all of this, right? I've been speaking for 8 minutes and jeez, so sorry about that. So what I'm basically saying is we have all of this window. So let me just do a bit of recap. So what I've been trying to explain is that from the last time we worked on this, that's the previous video I created, there was no window to work with to drag like this, right? You could just create a window. Let me show you what I mean instead of just saying it. So it could give us like a bit of recap. So from the last thing we have, this was what we had the last time, right? We have this. I can open this window. I can't click out of this window because it's just a dialog and I can't drag it. I can't do anything. I can click all of this, yeah, but I can close it. I can minimize it, maximize it, but that's all I can do. I can maximize, I can minimize, and I can close. That's basically what can happen. But now I've extended it in such a way that you can drag it just the way you have this. You can double click to maximize it. You can double click to minimize it. You can toggle the just like a normal window would, whether Mac OS or Windows. You get the idea. So it's basically that. And then you can also what else? Okay, I can't minimize it, but you get the idea. But I can do this, and then I can drag the window, and then all of the menus still works as usual, right? If I have custom menus, so there are some of them that have custom menus for like the calculator. You can see that I have menus, I have windows open, about 3 windows here open already. And even though I have 3 windows open here, I can click the one behind, I can click the one above, and it changes, right? Just like I have a normal windowed application or normal operating system rather with windows open basically. So that is how it works. That's the experience it gives to you. And then you can customize the menu for the application itself that you are opening within it. And how do you do that? Let me open the calculator to show you an example. Where is the calculator? Okay, this is it. So if I click the calculator, for instance, right, I showed this, but I was muted the other time. So if I do like a calculation, let's say 20 times 4, this should give you 80, right? This works. So I can decide to use the menu to copy the result. This result is actually copied. If I come here, I can paste the result here. You can see 80. So it allows me that. That means I can actually work with every application using the menu to control the application. So it makes a lot of sense. I can add this to memory by doing memory store here. And you see M80. So aside from using that, you can use the menu to control the window itself. And then you can program it. So it's just a way of programming it. So it's easy to add a, a wide array of different things. So anything you can probably think of and you can create it yourself. You can do the kind of application. So basically, the reason why I created this basically or initially was for me to improve my portfolio. So this is my portfolio, current portfolio, right? It's a basic website that is on Vessel currently. So I'm not using the actual domain. This is just the way it is. And then this is just the website. This is my portfolio. So all I did here was just to create a browser-like window. Let me call it a browser window. So it's not like a browser window within the actual window that I showed you, which is this um, store draggable window. So there are three types of windows currently. The first one I showed, which cannot be, you can't click out of, you can't drag, you can't do any of those new things that I have here, is the OS window. That's the first one. The second one is the OS draggable window, which is the okay, it's similar to the first one, but this one is draggable, but it does not have state. There's no state management for it. So the third one that has state management is the store draggable window. Now, this store draggable window has a store. That means it has like a client state that manages all the windows you open. So states like the if it's maximized, optimize, maximize, minimize, closed, or open. So all of those states are managed within the store. The title, the description, the position, the default position, for instance, here. All those states are managed within the store, and you can even control how you open the window, all of those things. So all of those things are managed within the store now. And so preferably if you want to create a store, I'm just saying this so that in case you want to use it yourself, by the time I push it to GitHub and then open it so that anybody can make use of it and then also improve it. You can always say that you can always use this or any of them. Depends, they have their use cases, but this can be used for the actual window you see right now. So to make to use to have this browser-like experience that you have, this is not a browser, it's just a window. So if I close this, I can always reopen it. This is it, my portfolio. Yeah, this is it. I can always reopen it, and you can that it still maintains the actual responsiveness of that web page. So if I do this, you see, but then it broke already. So I can do this, and then you can see it here automatically. So this is this, and then you can see all the pages work. normally as it should. The project, the articles, the contact. Okay, I think I'm talking too much. I can also load more pages. Like this is generated from my Medium directly, and it's here directly. So this is my actual portfolio, and then it works. So all I did to create this browser window experience is to create a component. It's called the browser window. You can see I've not even committed this change yet, and it's been like 2 3 days I wrote this. I've not been really chanced. I've been quite busy with work and other things. So, but basically, I'll try to like make this work before the end of this week, this new week. I think I have a bit of more time on my hands now, so that I can integrate more things and make it more optimized. But currently, it is very optimized. How do I know that? In terms of performance, I checked the performance the previous time I checked. Let me just check that. Let me change this from here. I think performance wise, it is quite good. Yeah, it's very good in terms of like the time it takes to paint, the time it takes to render, the time it takes to work with other stuff. Everything is just green, and which is a very good pointer that yes, everything is working well because it is. I've not even done any optimization features, just basic writing it. But so far, it makes a lot more sense. You can see largest content paint 0.48 seconds, cumulative layer 0.01 seconds, and it just makes sense. So I won't talk about optimization because I've not done more performance yet. But so far, even without doing anything, the movement, the way it moves, like this is real time, not sped up at all. You can see I'm speaking at the same time, so it's fast and it works well. It doesn't lag. I've not experienced any lag with it. And movement, clicking, coming back and out, everything works perfectly well. So this is the progress right now. I've spent 14 minutes, but this is the current progress, and it makes sense. This is what I've done so far. But today we are going to add more stuff to it. So just to show you the different type of windows we have, let me close all of these and then we open them. So you can get out of here. So the first thing you can see, this new window is the one you can't click out of. You can't click anything. You can't even navigate to this place. You can only maximize it and close it, and that's all you can do. That's the actual the first one, which is the OS window like that we created. The second one we created is the open window. The open window is similar to, you can see the open window is this one, which is the draggable, OS draggable. It's the one with the content. Yeah. So that one, this one can be dragged, but it has a lot less, you can see it actually cuts outside the viewport of the browser. We don't want that to happen. So there are a lot of issues with this one. It's not perfectly optimized. I've not really done some things on it, but it's draggable. That was like the second iteration of what we did. And then the menu doesn't work with the content within that window. So this is like the second iteration of what we did. Then we did the third one, which is okay, similar to the draggable, which is the calculator that I created initially. And you can see it doesn't work with it. Like there's no menu that works, right? But it's draggable. So that was the first test. Then the new ones we created, and you can notice that with this one created, it still maintains the positioning when you close and open it. So if I close this here and I reopen this, it maintains that same position. So this was when I was trying and iterating to see the result of what it will be. So after doing this, the next thing, okay, let me open this, and then you can see I can still click on other windows and open them. So that was this is a very good improvement over the first one, whereby when I click this, I can't click any other thing. I can't interact with any other thing on the screen anymore. So that automatically just cancels out what I want to do. So it doesn't give me what I want. So this leaves. So the next thing is we now created new type of windows called the store draggable window, which is the one that maintains the state, that has that state management for every window that you create. And that is why you see that this one opens here. The window, the positioning, like the default positioning you select here or you add to each of them works. And it's as simple as just creating the component, giving it a title, a description, and the type, right? If it's draggable or not. And then the position you want to. The position is not compulsory. It has a default position by default. So these are just optional parameters you can pass, optional props you can pass to the component and it works. So, but then even if you don't pass this, it's by default, it will be draggable. This is just to make it, to give it a zone description and title, right? And then you can trigger it using a custom, you can trigger it custom in a custom way you want, anyhow you desire to. And then to render the component within it is the beautiful part of it. It is easy to do because all you need to do is just create a component elsewhere. Like for instance, the calculator here is just a component that I created somewhere here. You can see it. It's just a component that does its own. The thing here is that menu within the component so that you can use that to interact with the component itself. But all you need to do is just create the component. It will automatically pick the component menu and interact and render that component menu here. Like you can see calculator and memory. But the initial one you see here, see there's no menu rendered. So, right? So this is not what we are trying to do. But then you can see there's calculator here and there's memory. And this kind of makes sense. Automatically makes sense. So what next? Yeah, so after doing all of this, you can see all you do is just render the form, right? The menu rather. You render the menu. I can see here, this is the menu, right? You created the menu here, and then you just register the menu. Register the menu, you select what you want it to be, you define all the options and everything. You can see same, there are two things, memory and the calculator here. Just like you see it here, calculator and memory. And memory has 4 options, calculator has 3, right? Similar to what we have here. We have the copy result, clear all, and the show memory indicator, and that just makes sense. So you can literally create your menu like this, and it works, right? But enough of this. I've spent like 80 minutes explaining what has been done. It's just to get you guys to catch up on what was done from the previous video. And so now the last thing that I did was that was kind of significant is creating the browser window. The browser window in the sense that we wanted to be able to render actual links within the page without you needing to leave the page to render them. Say, for instance, I want to click example.com. I want it to pop up a new window. Of course, I've not gotten this to work as I want to yet, but I'm going to work on that. So yes, I want it to be that example.com opens a new window here, like this opened a new window, and render the URL here within that window, similar to what this does for you, right? This just renders a new window. I wanted to show you guys something the other time. This is an actual app I built for detecting images, and it works. So within this same window, it also works. So I can render as many things I want within the same window. And the beautiful thing is that the page doesn't lag. So I've not stress tested this, but I believe that if you can render multiple things at once. You can render a lot multiple things. I mean, in terms of different windows, different URLs, different components, and use everything within the same app, and it works. There are other things to be done, like the ability to minimize so that everything goes to the dock, and then you can use it from the dock and spin it up, saving the states per session and all of those things. But those are things that you guys can always contribute to when I open source this. So it's a very interesting concept, right? I won't say it's perfect. This is something I just did in a day, right? And like, okay, first day, then 2 extra days, I just worked on it as I had time. So it makes a lot more sense. So yeah, we're going to be coming back to this. So what I want to do today is just to like clean this up before I push it somewhere that you guys can access it and then try it out yourself. So it won't just be local. Currently, it's local. I've not really had time to even test if it's going to build and all of those things. But I'm going to do that. Also, I want to also um, upgrade the current version, the React version, and the next year's due to the vulnerability that happened this past week. So I want to update that before pushing on all of those things. I already have pending issues on my Vincent that I need to update. I've not even had time for that. But then I'm going to do that today. So yes, what's the next thing I want to do? So first thing I want to do is to just to hide those ones. I don't want them to display. Like I said, this is supposed to trigger a window, but it doesn't work yet. We'll debug that eventually. Then this opens a custom window. Icons, for instance, is a window I can open and it works, but it's not loading. Also, there's lots of things not working. Like I said, it's actually very efficient and it makes a lot more sense. So this is Phosphor icon, for instance. Phosphor icon is a popular icon library that works. Yeah, should be able to do that as well. So this is, like I said, this is an app I built. All I did was just to load the URL and it works. Not every app can be loaded, right? Because of like security constraint and all, but you can load a very good number of pages and they work. For instance, NPM, I've not even tried if NPM will work, but I believe NPM should work from here. I haven't tried it. We can create a new window right now and test it out. It's just as simple as creating something like this. Where is this browser window? Yeah. npm npmjs.com .com or .org. I'm not really sure. Wow. npmjs.com. Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's I'm just using like npm official page, right? I can change this to like maybe 400 to make this like 0, and the button should change from icons to JS. I don't know if there's a brand JS icon. Okay, npm. Do you have anything like npm? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave it the same icon for now. And then if I go back there to the home page now, you should see basically this. Yeah, you should see this, right? So this is what you see. So if I click on this, you can see there are two icons now. This is the previous one that loads for 4 icons. Now this is the new one that loads npm. Yes, npmjs.org.com refused to load. Oh yes, I knew it was .org, not .com. It redirected to .org. Yeah, I knew that. So basically, this is it refused to load, so that means it's not going to work. If I click on that, it's supposed to reload, but it's not going to work. I'm not sure it allows you to load that, but you can see first 4 icons loads and it loads perfectly well. I can expand this, I can do this, and it works. So that out of the way. So that's how simple it is to like create a new browser window and get it to work. Just that simple. Okay, so let me see if I can. Okay, there's no need for this. Let me remove this since we can't open it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create like to make it a a better operating system experience. There should be like a profile view, right? I want to make use of this top right corner to add like a card that talks about the current user that is logged in. But if there's no logged in user, for now it's just going to be dummy stuff with my image and some other things. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. So that's what it's going to be. And so I'm just going to pick CN, copy the component. I don't want to have to write everything. So I'm just going to pick a card component that works for profile and use that. Let's look for that. Where are you? Card. Yeah. So I'm just going to be a card component that works. And okay, let me just copy this. I don't want something as complex as this. So let me pick a simple one, then modify it to what I want. So basically, this is meant to be on the home page, right? So it's just going to be something here at the top here, something, and it's going to have the same transparent like feature. It's not really transparent, just the background is reflecting on it and all of those things. But don't worry, this is I'll go out and then you can break it as you want. Yeah, let me create this at the top of the. Let me. I don't want that split there. I also don't want this here, but let me create it for now. I'll call this file card UI. And then I'm going to just paste this here since I already have the card. I'm sure. Okay, I don't have it. So first thing I'm going to do is to go pick the card from here and then import it into this place. So I don't need to like do it manually. Okay, so I'm just going to put it here and I'm going to import it like this. And that's basically gives me what I want. So if I go back, it's not exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to make it here. I'm going to create a box. A box is basically just from Radix UI that I can use to create stuff. Yeah, like just a container basically. So a box, and then it's going to be position is absolute. It's going to be top. Top is going to be 8. Let me make it 8. Then right is going to be 4. Perfect. So it's going to render this top right, as you can see here. But let's reduce the top a bit. Let's make it 2, and let's make this also 4. And let's leave it like this. Yeah. So just to give it nope. 2, I think 2 is fine to align with this. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So I'm going to make this 2 also. They both align. Okay, 2. So if I do this automatically, I get this card here, right? But like I said, I want it to be as transparent as card doesn't have variants, so we can't use that, but we can use a class name and say BG transparent, and then give it a border 0. No, the actual border. We give it an actual border of border, and we should have something like this. Works similar, but it's not the same, but you get the idea. It works at least. We can also have more design that makes it work. More like we might not make it transparent and make it background, but then make it background 20, for instance, just to give it that opaque opaque like view. Let's make it back this, and then if I go back here, you can see it has this, but with the border. I might very much remove the border because a card and border by default. I don't want that. can decide to want it, it doesn't matter. Then all we can do is we can make a backdrop. What am I doing? Okay, so I can have a backdrop here, and backdrop blur is just going to be like very small, or let me just make it empty so that it's not that blur, but it's not that big as well. So let me just make it small, just to keep it that way. And I can give it a width of full, just doesn't matter because this is this. I can give it a minimal, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do main width of 40 because I want it to be like an actual spread card. I don't think that will work because the box can't work. Why about I just do this instead? I'm not putting in a container, but I want to put in a container because it's always good to do stuff like this in an actual container. It makes it easier to like make changes, whether you want to add more components without needing to rewrite the entire CSS that the actual component you want to render there is. So it makes a lot more sense doing it this way. So I'm going to leave it this way. I'm just going to increase the width to I think I might use, I'm have to use flex for this so that it can grow automatically. I don't want this kind of feature. So I might use flex for this. Yeah, so it can grow on its own. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I might just do that. Let's go one. Okay, it doesn't matter. We have this. I can give this as 80. Oh, it actually works then. So there's no point in this. Let's go back to the box. 80 should be my minimum. Yeah, so it works. So we can have something like this just for the profile, and it makes sense. And yeah, the background of this, you can make it 20 or 25. I think 25 is the best because it's always having within that range, so it makes a lot more sense. You can see the border, but you can still see the background, or you can see that there's an overlay on the background. It makes a lot more sense. The next thing we can have here is to okay, I want to make it have my profile, right? So I'm just going to go back to Shadcn and copy the avatar components. I don't need to rewrite everything myself, right? So I just want to copy the avatar components and use that automatically. So it's just going to be something like this. Copy this, and then I'll come back to copy the actual stuff from there. So the card action should be what carries this avatar. So it's going to be this. I'm going to copy this from here. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to import it before the card just to give it that vertical order. So yeah, everything should be fine now. I'm going to use pre. Nope. Oh, I don't have avatar installed. Wow, that's weird. I thought I did. Oh, I don't. Okay. So all I need to do is to install the PNPM DLX. So I'm going to add avatar here, right? And that's it. So if I add the avatar now, this should be fine. It isn't going to complain, and that's all. So next thing I need to do is I need to change from the avatar, I need to change the image that is currently being displayed. I believe this can be sized, right? Okay, let's be done installing. I believe it can be sized. I think one, two, not entirely sure. If it doesn't size, then probably might have to use Shadcn images and Radix images. Radix images size as well, but there's no point using that. I'll basically just style it myself using Tailwind, and that should work. And so that's the first. What will be the title and description should be my name and description. I know this should be coming somewhere else, but for now it's just going to be it's going to be static. It's going to be coming from a different place eventually. But yeah, for now, it's just going to be static. Something like this, my name, this, and then the image. I'm going to increase the image size to a significantly large. Okay, let me call this. Why is this taking a lot more time? Oh, yeah, it's done. Indexing, okay. So this should give me size 12. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it didn't work. Let's see, 24. Yeah, it works. Okay. So we don't want 24. 24 is a bit too much. Let's make it 20. 20 should be good enough. Just to give you that feel of, oh, this is my profile. If I click on it, it gives me this, that kind of stuff. But you could also make it, I'm making it close to the right so that it has that different vibe, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. So I can remove this completely if I don't want this here, and then I can make this a flex component. Basically, I can do it this way to make it easier to work with, so I don't need to bother. So what I need to do is I need to align this center and to gap this. And then if I come back here, you can see this, but I don't want that to be the case. again. So what I can do is I really don't like doing this, but then for the use of this, because it's a one-time thing, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. Nope, nope, nope. Direction should be column. That's what I want. So I don't want it to align and I don't want it to justify. So I just want it to be like this. And oh yeah, shoot. Okay. Okay, something is gone wrong. Let's see, BG orange 400. It's full. So definitely this should be full also. So this is where the problem is. Perfect. So we're good to go. So we can remove this. I don't need this anymore. I'm just putting this 100 just for the sake of, you know, working with browsers is a chaotic thing. I really don't like dealing with it most times. But for this use case, I think it's good enough. Let's leave it at 16. 18 should be best. 18 should be a sweet spot. But that is not entirely sure. But let's leave it this way. So I can do this and I can add a gap to this and add this to 2, change the text in this description text here. Nope. And this size should be 3 here instead. And if I do this here, I should be able to do this 3 here. Then the description, okay, let me make it a bit more, let's say 4. 4 should work. Now you can see the card description is a bit more, a bit bigger. But I actually want my name to be bigger. This should be like 2. I don't want that to be, I can add this class here, right? But I don't want to tamper with the default just since I can do this and it works for me. And I like working with the text component a bit more because it gives me more flexibility as well. So basically, I can call this the header because no, let me call it text. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so it will lose the styling, right? Because it's just been nested. So it's going to retain the styling of the parent that's been the child component. So everything is going to work as intended. But then I can style it for the size and call it 4 or 5. I think 5 is a bit, 6 would be a sweet spot, but 5 is okay. So let's leave 5 so that we don't need to like increase the width of heart itself. I know that should be dynamic, so I'm just going to make it 6 to see what happens. It doesn't stretch, it breaks. That is a problem. I need to find a way to actually increase this so that it can increase with size. But it's not a problem yet. We can always undo that. All right, so we can do something like this: truncate, add both, and if it's supposed to break that truncated. But for this use case, there's no need doing this. So we can just do this. My name, probably description. I can call it. Okay, this doesn't take truncate. Wow. Okay. And I'll call description. I can say versatile. Beautiful. It's not. It's definitely not perfect, but it works, right? It's perfectly okay. Now, so I really don't like working with stuff like this, especially when it comes to like right and left. The best thing I would have done is to make this just a card-based kind of like avatar at the top, then the stuff downward. But it doesn't really make sense to also for a profile scenario. So I really don't like the way it's been displayed here, but I also don't like the way this works. Hmm. Okay, so you know what we're going to do? We are going to see the box position works. Though I'm not using flex still. I don't want to use 100% here. It's just going to make it weird. So we don't want that to happen. What's up? Okay, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, we're back. So as I was saying, talking about this, I think these two, yeah, let me put it where it's supposed to be. So what I was talking about was these two things. Um, I want this to scale with the content, right? So it could make a lot more sense. I know I'm supposed to put this by this side. I really don't like doing this made the right scenario, trying to like give it a defined width of where it's going to be so that I can actually truncate this or clip it or break it, that kind of thing. So that's the easiest way most times. But for this scenario, for now, I can always work on this and rework this. It doesn't really matter for now, like I said. So, but then if I click on this, I want to be able to trigger something, right? And that's just as easy as clicking something that works. So, what I need to do for that to work is, let's see, what do I have here? So I can remove the content and the footer because I don't need them. Yeah, basically remove this because I don't need it. I only need the header and this guy. But then to make it much more interesting, I can do this. I can remove the description and put the text inside here, and then that means I don't need this, and I just have this, right? And then I can change the color here to color gray, and that becomes what I need. So that way it always stays downward. So what I can do is remove the description from here. I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to comment it out. I just don't want it to waste space. So I'm going to do it this way. Then I'm going to remove the um the header. The header should not have. Okay, you know what? I think there's a space between this and this. Yeah, there's a space. So we need to remove that space. So we need to go to the card and remove the space Y2 or gap. I think it's a gap. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it should be gap. Yeah, you can see it's smaller. So I think it's gap. I'm going to remove this. So I'm going to make this gap 0. So I don't want it to have any gap. You can see this now. So that's reduced that. So this, my name is just going to be what's here. And then I can actually change this from this to muted. And it makes a lot more sense, just to give that vibe. But then I'm going to use that. So I'm going to have this, yeah, and then I can have this on, let's say 25 also, and then I'm going to give it this two colored stuff. But then it still doesn't make sense. I can do it this way to give it a lot more stuff, but then I need to give this a padding of, nope, padding of 1, px1, because I don't want it to have that stuff, which is cool, but I can make it a bit more interesting, right? Something like this. And then I can do something to even make it better. I can do py as 1 to reduce the space up and down, but then 1 is too much. So make it 2 to reduce that space by 2. So it makes a lot more sense like this, right? I just feel like it's better. Then I'm going to remove the px from 2 for this. For the card header itself, I'm going to remove the px to 0 and give it pl is equals to 4 or 3, right? So that only this right side, the left side has that thing. Then going to increase, or it's not actually aligned, right? If you look at it, it's not aligned. I mean, up and down. As you can see here, even though it's aligned center here. So this is not aligned. So what I need to do is to align this up and down. I mean, for this is for this, and this is for this. So that means this is not aligned. So align center. No, item center. Yep. And if I'm right, no, it doesn't work. So that means we need to like flex it first. And items and okay, so it's back. So that means something happened. Kind of, I'm just going to assume it broke. I just have to refresh and then it's there. So yeah, it works now. So what I need to do is give it a padding of py again. Let's make it 2. Let's make it 2 also, so it's not too far-fetched. But then, okay, no, let's just make everything 2. I think the previous one was too much. Let's make it 3. 3 is a good spot. Yeah, and the y2 should be 3. So I'm just going to make it 3 completely, and then you're going to keep it that way. And this makes sense, right? Makes a lot more sense. So it's not good enough, but I like it. Kind of, you can always improve on it, right? This is just a proof of concept. As you can see, this makes a lot more sense. And it doesn't retain of the outer one. That's something something we can deal with. Why? Because the padding respects that. So we can make it 1.5. Then make the y-x also 1.5. Hopefully it stays. Nah, it's still terrible. Okay. No, what? Going to leave it as it is. We can always improve that later. Or then we can make this one instead of Excel, we can make it LG. And I'm sure that's not going to like fix it, but oh yeah, it does. It does make more sense. It's not perfect, but it does make more sense. So if I'm to like use it, I can use this actual 3 padding structure 2 and 3 to make it work. If I want to make it work, I need to go a bit more granular in terms of like stuff to make it work. That's the craziness of CSS and stuff. But now this is okay, right? This naming is okay. We can just do. We know this is going to increase more than this. Automatically going to break, so it still makes more sense. And then this is the description. So for this description, I can always add this to the description. All it's this. So I'm going to increase to yeah, perfect. So side 3, color gray. Most do this, you can from 0 to 1 or to 2 to give you more space in between. I kind of prefer 1.5. I don't know. That will look more, yeah, looks better. So the card footer will not be here, meaning that we don't need this. Voila, we have simple logical stuff. So I'm going to reduce this from 6 to 5 just to give it that make sense feel. I'm going to reduce it from 18 to 16. I think I prefer it be 16. It's a bit too much for me. Yeah, this is nice. It's not too big. It's not too small. It looks like a little card by the right side, and it makes more sense. So basically, we just treated the card, this card that we saw here, that card we created initially, we change it to this. That makes sense, right? So this is one of the things I wanted to create. So if I click on this, it should load. What I want to do now is if I click on this image, which is not my actual image yet, but this is my portfolio, right? Like I said, this is my portfolio and that's my image here. So if I click on this image, I should be able to copy the image or copy image link. Can I open it in new tab here? So I should be able to copy the image link. No, I don't want to save it. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Okay, so apparently I can open the image in a new tab. It automatically downloads it for me, and I don't want to download it. So what do I do? 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 Let me see. I can't do that. There are many reasons why I can't do that. Many reasons why I can't do that. So, okay, let's see if I can like look for where it is. Yeah. Yeah. I just think that this is not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work. There are many reasons why it's not going to work, and I think it's clear enough why it's not going to work. But then I can still find it. Let's just do it. It doesn't really matter. Browser window. So this is what we need to pick. We need to pick the slot. We need to pick this overflow. We need to pick this. We need to open this, and this is there. And then this. Then this. And yeah, actually should be able to access it. Yeah. But then not as an actual image. I should be able to copy this. Yeah. So if I should be able to access it by doing this, but then can I? Yeah, I should be able to. Oh no, this is not just going to load from. Oh no. Okay. I know what. I like testing things out. Let's see. Yeah, it's not working. As you can see, it's been broke already. So then I'm not going to give up. Let me refresh. Can't be too sure. All right, definitely didn't work, right? Because it's actually loading my URL, but Vessel is picking it that way. All right, I can always pick it from the actual stuff. Okay, let me do that instead. I think that makes sense. Um, Let me open the portfolio again, copy the URL, open it in a new tab, copy this. It doesn't have an image URL. Oh, I remember what I did now. Yeah, it doesn't have an image URL. I think it was added as an image. Okay, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go here and I'm going to basically just open it. Let's see my name, right? Yeah. So my name, yep, and this is my name. This is my name. Where are you? Yep, this. Nope, not this, not this. Where else do I have that? Just the name. No, not these two. Many places, right? Oh, sidebar, yes. Okay, so this is it. So this is the image. Yeah, like I said, it's inside. It is linked, so that's basically why. Okay. Doesn't give me the chance to actually use it from there, so I can't copy it. So what I'm going to do is just copy this as well and copy it from where it is. I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. I can pick it somewhere else. I should be able to pick it somewhere else. I don't want to do this. I'm going to close this. I don't want that. Okay, so yeah, we'll just go back to what we were doing before. This is how I like to work. So pardon my always wanting it to be where I want it to work. Yeah, we'll get it to work, don't worry. This is I'm going to open this. Actually, I'm going to trigger this. Trigger this. I can trigger this. Trigger this. Trigger this. Trigger this. The image URL is not going to work. The way I can copy this, I can't just remember how I used to do it then. It's actually you know what? Nah, not wasting time on this. Let's look for a way to just do that. So I'm just going to use the default image. I'm going to leave it as the default that was there initially. That's the one from Verso, the actual Shardscene image. So I'm going to leave it this way and that should work. So next thing I want to do, like I said, is when I click this, it should open my portfolio, this same window. So what do? Just the same way I've done the other ones. So I'm going to copy my portfolio browser window. I'm going to copy this, take it to where I have the avatar inside this card. I think this is not the best way for this, but this is how this is going to be done, just to show you the demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this and change the trigger from the button to the avatar. Actually, yep, perfect. And so that should automatically, nothing changed, right? But if I click on this, it opens this. If I click on this, it opens the same thing. The reason why it's opening on top of each other, like I said, is that the position remains the same, 600, 100. If I change this to like 200, and then close both of them, again, I open this here. I open this, going to open by the right, a bit. So if I want to make it a bit like a cascade function, I can make it 200, 200. So it opens right a bit downward. Do you understand? So something similar to just okay. Let me start from this. Let me start from this one, and then I click on this one. And you can see it opens that way, and you can see right. So it doesn't open the same place. So that is it. Interestingly, like I said, you can't go past the viewport. It will not go past the viewport, even if you do not go past the viewport, right? So it's capped to that. You can see this. Well, this is the first time it's actually did that lag for me in a long while. I think it's because it's very so I've seen the first thing I need to optimize. Definitely. So, but then you can see this works and my portfolio multiple times. You keep opening and opening, and then It works like I have it on the actual page itself. I'm just showing you the features. It works like I have it there. Pages work, the projects work, the resume, the GitHub, but GitHub will not load, right? So but they can go to any of these places, access everything. It works, literally works. So this is what I want to add this. Then we try to like build it. So we can add stuff like that here. You can have the settings page. So all you can do is, like I said, it's just so let me stop out there that I was very happy with heading one, heading two, three, right? Heading four, heading three, two, two. Then I can do something three again, three at four. And I can convert this from that to heading three again. And basically I can even do more with that. I can change this from heading two to heading this. I'm not sure that works yet, but then the menu works for some things. For instance, let me do this. If I click on the edit here and the insert here and all this, let me try to, the one I've tried, the bold, for instance, works. You can see the bold works. So if I do this, so there's something I noticed when I double click the window itself, it takes the events handler for this, list the event listener for this, and renders it across the entire children of that window, which is normal. But what I need to do is to stop propagation. You understand what I mean? So basically, I need to stop all of those things. Okay, that's that. So I can add more things like I can insert a code block, for instance, right? You can see insert here and stuff. But I don't want that to happen. You see that Control Z, Control Y works within the text. You can see. So this is one of the best things that we've done here so far. It makes a lot more sense. You can see the word count, show word count. It's not functional, but it's supposed to. I've not just gone to that part, but modification works. You can save it to local storage. You can see the recent document I created just on the 10th. The last time I worked on it, actually, it's crazy. I've not really had time, just like 5 days ago. Yeah. So on the 10th, so we have that 10 a.m. on the 10th. I can see the local storage. I can import JSON. I can export this as JSON so that I can import it anytime or open it in another document entirely, rendered perfectly well. All of those things. So you see the one of the powerful things you can do with this. So this is just like a full-fledged text editor, something like Notion. In fact, a full-fledged Notion-like window that makes a lot more sense, and it works. And then there's a simpler text editor, which is something I created in the first video that we did. I create in the first video? I'm not sure, but this is something similar to that, right? I can. These are just two menus that work. I can create new document. It already cancels that one. I can type, and you can see modified. And if I save it, it saves to local storage. That means I can always add more features to like load it from local storage, use it to save to external files. Anything is possible here. So this is one of the interesting things. So there are a lot more things we can do with this, right? Now that we have access to opening windows, we can even do much more. But currently, these are the features that we have implemented: a basic calculator, a basic text editor, a more advanced text editor like what we have here, and then a context menu to refresh the page. So if I refresh the page now, the page is actually refreshed, to be honest. So this, and but like I said, it's probably managed. So this is what it is. This is just what I was trying to explain the other day. How long does it take to build an OS UI? That makes a lot more sense. Now, some of the things we are supposed to do that I have not done, and probably thinking of doing on this call, but I have not done, is to be able to minimize so that when I click minimize, currently it doesn't work. Close works and expand works and maximize works, but the minimize doesn't work yet. I've not gotten to implementing the minimize function yet. So probably we should try that on this call. It shouldn't be too crazy to implement it. Should I do it on the call? Thinking. Should I do it or I should resolve it first, push it so that people can test it? Okay, I think I'm going to do that first. So now that this works here, I'm supposed to have a feature that allows you to enter a username, save it to local so that you can display your user and your this, or like, you know, Google optimization and stuff. But like I said, this is just for now. There's no functionality for handling user management or any of those things. Just basic for now, but you can see everything that we've created so far, and you can see that it works fine, right? So that's and I can even talk to it. That is right. Oh, expand. Now you see. All right, that makes a lot more sense. So the reason why this doesn't work is because I can do it like this as div, and then if I do it, it should break. I can make it a button actually. I think I prefer a button, not a text. And then I don't need this anymore. I'll just make it a button. Check out my portfolio. Okay. I'll still make it as div. Nope. As okay, I can't make it as div if I do this. Best I can do is to put it inside another component like this, but it's not going to take the full width of the container because it's using the box that you can see. So, but this works. It's an option. I can change the variant to secondary to make it light, but you don't want the secondary. We want it to have that same stuff that it does before. So, right. So we just make it this, and you can see a bit more light again. You can customize the button the way you want. It just depends. So I'm just showing you what is possible. And you can see that this doesn't obstruct any other thing happening on the page. Everything works. Working locally makes more sense. Whatever I'm typing doesn't have to leave. If I type UI, this okay, OS UI. And if I make any change here, as you can see, I can write one. This is the first heading. And I do this. So automatically changing anything here doesn't affect whatever is here. It renders, but it doesn't. So like I said, it works perfectly, even better than I expected, to be honest, because I didn't put more time to this and it came out this well. So I'm kind of very impressed with how it turned out. But yeah, like I said, this will not work because it's not going to stretch to fill the space of that. But you can see I just made changes here and everything is still here, this here, this here, this here, nothing changed. Yeah. So I can change this back to ghost, and nothing changed still. Everything is still there perfectly. And then this becomes like that. Right, so I don't think I need this button here. I'm just going to demonstrate other things that can be added. This can definitely be improved. This is not the best UI I can think of right now. So then what I want to do is to make this work, right? Like I said, I want to do the minimize, but before I come to the minimize, let's try building this to make it work. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open another tab. I'm going to PMPM format. I think I have that. Oh, that is not there. It's not there. Okay, so I have Prettier installed here. Oh, I'm supposed to update. Oh, I have it updated 16 already. I think I'm going to update more to the newer version. 16 man is not actually the newer one after the patch, the vulnerability of 2 days ago. I don't think this one has registered it yet, but then I'm just going to leave it like this. Should work. The real version has been increased automatically, updated rather. So yeah, so that makes a lot more sense. And what we need to do is I'm bound to have a lot of build issues here. It's going to be crazy. Building this is going to be wild. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I haven't, like I said, I haven't taken time to work on this at all. From the first live video I did to like show you guys an example and then working to tweak it to make it draggable and all of those things just was the last thing I did that makes a lot more sense. So I don't need the demo because okay, I need to remove all of this. I'll do this. Let me just do I need to do any of this? Let me just push it. There's no, but it's not being used for any actual thing yet because some websites open from the first time. But then it's not bad to clean up stuff. So let's try cleaning it up. Let's start with the initial one. What's the first one? Dynamic menu. Okay. Whew. Let's start with this. Yeah. Type of separator is not found. It's not assignable to type item. Okay, let's see the type. Menu item, menu separator. Okay, I don't want to have to deal with this now. Nope. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just this. Okay, let's see if it works. It's not going to work. Do I even know what I'm touching here? It's going to complain now that it's not assignable to this and label, label is missing the type of this. It's not supposed to be that. It's an optional. It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be like that or this, which I don't want to use. Okay. The menu item is label of string, and the issue here is label is fine. The children is the issue because children of this is basically a menu item which contains only item and does not contain separator. Fine. Are we good to go now? Property label is missing in type. What are you saying? Oh, that's true because it's not there. Nope. Let's go back because we require it, but it's not required there. Okay. Label should be shortcut. Optional field. And now we're good. Good. So first thing cleared. Let's try it again. PNPM build. Fingers crossed. It's supposed to work though. But there are still errors. I'm sure there are still errors elsewhere. Yeah, definitely. So main registry demo. Come on. I'm not using you for anything. Why should you be there? Oh, I already understand. But then I don't want you to be an issue to type. No. Okay, that works. Just to okay, Boolean undefined. True. I'm not even using this. Why is it there? Toggle. Whatever. Let's leave that for just for the test we did. What's the next thing here? This is change the registry is not assignable to menu config. This type is not assignable to type menu config. Type content are incompatible. What's the content here? Content is this. Content here is different. No, what? I'm not dealing with you right now. Move on. No check. Scrap. Okay, let's try this again. First one passed, second one passed, third one going to fail. Okay, node editor. Yeah, I definitely need this. That's the dummy node editor that we created initially. So we need it to work. We definitely need it to work. So if I'm not mistaken, it's inside the import. Node import is already fine. I can't deal with this right now. Nope. Definitely not. Definitely not dealing with it right now. Okay, as that and as this. So the next thing we need to work on. So let's say we have this currently, right? We have all of this working. We have the okay. Insert blocks. The insert blocks should give me reference block was not provided. Okay. All right. Let's see. Reference block was not provided. It takes two elements, right? But go one. So it takes in reference block. Wow. We should be able to provide it. Okay, but let me just provide that. I think it should be an array. Not entirely sure. Yeah, it works. It does not work. So it does not work because the block identifier should. Oh, get it now. I'm supposed to take reference blocks to be come from it's a string or string. Okay, so I'm going to, yeah, I was correct. It's supposed to be that one. I'm not sure what this is. My fail, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, for now, because this is, it's not perfect yet. There's a lot of issues. This is when you are inserting images, and okay, I think it's not even supposed to work because inserting images is like an embed for what we built. So it's not supposed to work. But for now, let's just pass this stage. Now, when I have time to look into this, probably make it work. So this is complaining that is not does not exist on type because you don't know the type. Yeah, table content. So it's not even an array, but it works because the word count works perfectly well. This is the component it's talking about. You can see, so it works well. So that means there's okay, fine. You know what? I don't want to have to deal with you right now, but let me infer this text edit. You're good to go. No issues. Still need to complain about map. What can I do to this one to make it pass? Nope. So what is block again? If I can remember what I did. Block is this. Yeah, block is the entire block for the notes editor. Then we have the dot content, which is the actual content because we want to calculate the word count. So we need to know the content for that particular thing, just like something like this. You can see. So the content. Yeah, it doesn't actually have a type. I meant to give it a type. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Rather than doing it this way, do I even need the unknown still? Yeah, I don't. Okay, let's fix the last one. Same. Call item is call out. So probably just call out. I'm not sure if this is call out. What did I do? Okay, so if you do this, we go back here. You can see still retaining the state, in fact. It can be quite impressive sometimes. Oh, just out. Hmm, not call out. Hmm, okay. Let's see. Why is this complaining? Type test is not assignable to type. You were not even there before. You know what? Text. Don't stress me. This was not even a problem like a few seconds ago. You know what? Let me take it back to what I had. Now it complains of this. So if I fix this, that one comes up. I just have to fix it. Content is, let me look for the one I did the other time. I don't think I need to do it the same way. Just look for a way to fix it and it should be good, right? So the next thing here is type is text, but it's complaining that type text is not assignable to type of string. Styles is missing in this, or required in type. Oh, I get it. Yeah. No. Are we good? Come on, don't tell me it can't be empty. Yeah, we're good. All right. So that's that. We've been able to resolve this one too. Let's go to, oh, what did I do? Let's go here. Okay, so going here, we have this, and then coming back here, we have PM build. I think it's going to work. There's a lot of things I've not even fixed. Like this is still going to throw an error. You can see it has the red. Oh shit, I can fix all of this right now. Especially not on this call. I don't want to waste the guys' time by fixing all of this on the call. But I want you to go so you can test it. I can drop the link here. You can even see the link. Better still, I'll do this after the call, right? I don't want to do this on the call and having you I'm trying to do on the call here. So, but basically, this is yeah, it's still going to fail. There's a lot of than see what I was complaining about. Yeah, exactly. You know what? Yeah, yes, ignore this. This is what I want to do right now. I don't want to do functional type value matches the call. Nah, I'm not dealing with that right now. So I'm going to try it again. I know there are still other files like the Windows Store. The store is a lot more complicated and it's going to require me to do a lot of this. No, I can't do this right now. I'm missing property. Okay. She fixed it, but I don't even know what he added. Don't go and spoil my code for me. I really don't want to trust you guys anymore. Okay, I think I need to be sure what this just did. Oh my god. I'm not sure what I just did. I'm missing properties. What are the missing properties? Oh, title and type. Yeah. It's required. They are required. No, I said they were not supposed to be required, but they are required. Window info should not require them. Title should not be required. Type should not be required. Type should by default be draggable. These two should not be here, but for now, it can be removed. So I don't want this. I don't want that. I just hope it doesn't cascade somewhere else because we are not supposed to have that. But I'm sure we have it elsewhere. But for the sake of just deploying this, not cleaning it up, right? I'm going to leave it because it's going to have effect elsewhere. I know we used it somewhere else for calculator. I used a type calculator somewhere. If I'm not mistaken, it should be on the page. If I can fix it here, then I can remove it automatically from there. I think it's here somewhere. The type is draggable here. Okay, I was clearly wrong. It's not there. I'm sure it's still somewhere. Okay, let me see. I think I know now. Floating dock. Should be in the dock itself. Should be in the. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it's not required there. So yeah. So I think basically that's the only rule. This is the bane of everything. I don't even know I'm going to fix it yet. So this is the provider for the store, right? Because we created this store for managing the state. So we needed the provider to be able to pass the menu because there was no way we could, because the menu is tied to every component. Every component should define its own menu, right? And the menu should be passed, more like you're passing it to the parent, right? Which this window, the window itself, the window component is the parent of every component you're adding to it. So it basically means that for every window, we cannot register the menu directly to the window. We need to register it to the component. So the component needs to pass that menu to the window that is being rendered inside of. So that means we needed this to manage that. We needed a provider that allows us to be able to pass it from the menu registry to the window itself, so that way we can make use of it. And that is why we are able to control all you see here. That is why this worked, not this one. I'm talking about the Windows actually menu like this. This is why this works. You can see save is disabled. The moment I type something, save becomes enabled. So it's actually working well. Of course, it's not perfect. It's just a proof of concept, just to show you what this can do, right? So you can have this too. I forgot to mention this. Works. So I don't know I'm going to fix this yet. I don't want to spend time with this because I have to define the window type from the store because I didn't define it in the context, and the context is supposed to take in those store contexts, which store. So when because return type it's supposed to store where you created this to return right? Creates exactly. So failing. Okay, I think I know what to do, right? Find a way. I'm going to use this Windows store state. If I'm not mistaken. Oh yes, I am mistaken. Because it's not assignable to that. So the use Windows store context does not have this. I mean, I don't have time to sit with this to check it out and resolve it. Oh, sheesh. Um, mm, oh, perfect. Fixed it. Okay. Oh, wow, just once that fix. Oh no, I knew there was going to be another error. I knew it. Unknown is not. I had unknown here. Nope, didn't. Probably need to pass it here. Okay, I think that's what I should have done. So naturally use AI to like fix all of this, like because I don't want to deal with it, but because this one is going to complain, definitely it doesn't have it. I'm not thinking of what I'm doing right now, just muscle memory to see if it's going to work. But I know this should have worked, but because Windows Store context itself doesn't have this, because it's supposed to return the type of this, it's supposed to infer the types directly, but for some reason it's not inferring it. You know what? I'll work on this later. No, I think this is a smaller error, so we should be able to fix this. I don't want to waste time here on this call. How can I fix this easily? Consumer props is this. I need to check that from there. Oh no. Okay. No, I'm not going to do this right now. No, no. Just going to ignore everything. Ignore. Because the point is the store itself has all of these things I want to use, and they are being returned directly from it. Like states, why are you giving me issues? Just infer this now. Is Windows Store and Windows Actions together? That's the state. Why complaining? Jeez, I'm dealing with this sometimes. Export type. Yeah, this is why it's supposed to work. So if I'm exporting the type, that's what I'm using here. And return the type of this. So why are you not working? Wait, am I exporting it from the window itself? No, 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 no. What am I doing? Sorry about this. I'm not going to debug this here, but okay. So Windows Store does not really export. I'm going to fix it. Don't worry. So what I'm going to do first of all is just ignore this. No check. So basically, no checking this file. So this will be the list of my worry for now. Definitely going to fix it, but not now. This is not the best practice. I'll fix it when I have the time to check it out more. So this should work. Oh no, editor menu. Let's see. That should be text editor, right? Yeah, text editor. The text editor should give me you again. That means register menu already has a bar signature. I need to. I'll check you later. Move on. Let's go to the next thing. PNPM build and let's see if it work. Nope, it doesn't work. Window tracker. Oh no. I don't really need this because I created it just to, it doesn't mean that I created this one, right? I was using it to track the number of windows, like, and this shouldn't be a problem then. So, because it's just complaining about, yeah, Windows start, which is this. It's complain about this not being the type it's supposed to be used to get the entries, and which is understandable. Why is render to do that makes it's just whether the window was working when I created the store window draggable store for components to show if it works or not. So it's not something that is like extremely important right now for me to work with, but it works nevertheless. All the same, it works. So this will not work because of that. This is not going to work because unknown. Yes, because the window start is coming from the window I just you know what? Sorry guys, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix it. But for now, I just want to deploy it to see how this is work. I'm going to TS there. I don't want to do it on this call. This call. Preparing this. Mhm. Okay, as long as I don't prevent any from going. I don't even know if I created that as a configuration. I'm not sure with it. We just pin up the default CN and we just with Next.js and we just work with it. And honestly, it's quite impressive how fast this thing works. I know time is still going to like 10. Like I said, I've not done any optimization yet. Okay, what's in Windows 12? Well, that was expected. Mode. Yeah. I wish this can infer this from this and just fix it for me once, but no, I'm not even sure AI can help me right now. I need to look at this line by line. Jeez. No, this is a lot of work. I don't like doing this. Yes, ignore. I have to go and look for it again to fix everything. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay. Yeah, we're done for now. 11 hours. Yeah, I know. Okay. Hopefully everything should be fine. Oh, yes, it works. It works. It's just a single page, so there are no multiple pages to load, right? So it's just a single. The essence of it is you don't have to load multiple pages. So imagine if you have to render a lot of things, you can render everything on the same page. So for instance, now I'm rendering this photo icons homepage. I'm rendering this app I built for detecting AI images. I'm rendering my portfolio. At the same time, I'm rendering the Next.js application. There are four windows basically here, and all of them work as they're supposed to work, right? I can use this, but once I click this button, it takes me external to an external tab and works from there. And then, aside from this, also, I have the calculator function window that I can open as well, making 5. And I have this that I can also open, making 6. And I have the last one that I can open, 7 of them. So I can open 7 of this and I can use it as I want to use it. But the beauty of this is that it becomes chaotic also. That's why I call it the beauty of it, because the beauty of it is, yes, you can open multiple windows within the same page and it works well. And you can multitask, basically multitask. Imagine if you're on the web page and you want to actually send a message, you don't need to go to a new page and you don't need to like manage multiple states. Everything is managed in its own component and then passed to a window. And the window is managed in terms of state. You can actually save the state of that window. You can actually perform operations like having a calculator within that home page. You can perform an exam here and restrict access to other windows by just allowing access to just the browser alone, just like I have here on my portfolio. And it works. So, and I can also do it such that I have it on like the pad I have here, this one. I can use this alone. I can decide that this is what I want to use and nothing else. And that becomes what I want to do. I can have a manager that can open all of them in tabs so that if I have multiple tabs open, I can organize them. Those are future things I plan for it. But like I said, I've been too held up with work. But this makes sense. All right. So I believe you can see the use of it. Like you can see the use case and So I can close all of this right now, and it works. Close this, close this, close this, close this, close this, close this, and I can close this. So yes, and now that this is done, I'm just going to deploy to Vessel now. But with all the TS signal, I'm just going to like make that work. So the last thing I want us to do, which is what I want us to do on the call, is to work on the minimize functionality. Currently, the minimize functionality works, but it doesn't do anything. Now, the reason is because it's going to be complex. What I plan for it is when I click minimize like this, you can see it works, but it doesn't do anything. It disables the close button and the minimize button and only allows you to maximize like this, even though it should not. It should disable all of them. So if I want that to happen, all I need to do is to go to the store draggable window and go to the where do I have that? It should be at the top here. I hope this is big enough to see. Oh yeah, I think it is. So I go to the close, just the same way I have for the other ones that are disabled. When it is actually, is it minimized? When it is minimized, yeah. So if it is minimized, it shows me that, where is it again? Okay, yeah, this is it. So if it is minimized, it has this color. It's not actually show it. And how do we do that? All I need to do is just have a disabled field. I need more room, and I say Windows state equals to minimize. So if it is minimized, automatically should be disabled. So if I try that again now, if I click minimized, you can see this is the disabled state. This is just a color stuff. So I'm going to remove this. I don't want this one. I don't want just the CSS state toggle. I want it to actually be minimized. Oh no, I can't do this because it takes away the color I actually need. We don't need this. So we need this state check. We only need the colors. We don't need this state check also. We just need the colors. So what we can do is just once the window is minimized. So once you minimize, you can't close a minimized window unless you bring to the surface by triggering it, and then you can close it. Right? That's basically how every window works, or you can't do that from there. So just to, you can do this now. Window state equal to minimized. So the same thing applies to this. You can see disabled. So it's not going to like clear them, but you can't click on them. So that's basically what happens. So I can extend this, and once I extend this, it changes back. So, but the moment I close, everything closes. You can't highlight it again. It's gone. So that is it. So the next thing we are going to be doing in the next video is going to be, I don't want to spend too much time here. This is already an hour 30 minutes. I've explained, done of explanation, but I've created this also that is to create our multiple windows. And then, this is the dock works too, right? I forgot to mention that. Every other thing works basically. And yeah, this is a minimal browser implementation. It doesn't have some things that the normal browser should have, but at least it renders my resume URL perfectly well. So I can share this to someone and say, oh yeah, check what I've done. And then you can click on this and open my resume within that same page. And it makes sense, right? And this can open on mobile as well, but it's not built for mobile yet. That can be done eventually, but for now, it's just this and it works. So basically, this is what I've done. This is what we have done as everybody that's um, contributed to or connected to this live stream. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be ending this today. And in the next video, okay, before the next video, I'm going to share this, the link to the repo and then the link also, so that you can try it out, basically, create stuff and get it to work. And it works basically. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Very, very soon, probably today or early tomorrow morning. I will be free now, so I'll probably dedicate resources and time to this to get it to work. So yeah, I should be able to do that. So the next thing I want us to do live will be to implement the minimize. But if I don't have time to come back today, I'm going to implement the minimize today, then show you guys how I did it tomorrow or probably in the next few hours. I don't know when I'll be chance to do this, but I should have chance very soon. So that will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for connecting, and watch out for the next live stream because we want to make this interesting and usable. Thank you guys. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.